really exciting stuff to share. As kind of always, feel free to, if you have any questions, that maybe if you're a user or current user, feel free to send those questions through JP, who's on the other end of this camera. We'll be monitoring those, and we've got a section dedicated to make sure we try to get through as many of those as we can. So feel free to fire those away whenever. And yeah, let's just kind of get this ball rolling a little bit.
Go for it.
So we're going to start off as we normally do with a quick poll. We always like to do this poll. As you guys know, we work with a lot of different or handful of different production types. And so I'd love to just hear from the people that are on this call how to, hold on, I think I can do it. Yep. Let me actually, JP, can you launch the poll?
You guys got it.
Cool. So yeah, poll coming in. Just if you drop in your industry type, always just like to kind of get a pulse on where everybody's at for this. So if we could maybe take a second, throw those things in.
I'm always interested to see how many more esports, because I feel like that's really coming up on and stuff.
Yep.
I'd like to see that kind of always showing up some more.
Yeah, had a lot of broadcasts over the last couple years. So cool. We've got, wow, looks like we got most sports in here, 30% corporate, which is great. Some esports people as well, which is awesome. Broadcast, handful of worship, great. And then other as well. If you put
whatever you other are, I appreciate you showing
If you put
up.
Other, maybe your family or friends.
Right.
Maybe my mom's on this.
Yeah. Hey, Mom.
And yeah, if you're other, actually, maybe drop in just maybe something, a little bio about what you're kind of, what that industry is or where you work. Maybe it's all the above.
Yeah.
But would love to kind of hear from you there. Actually, let's do one more quick poll. I think we've done this before, but how are you using ShowFlow on mobile? Definitely a big move in the industry. More people getting access on different types of devices. So if you get a quick second, I would love to hear if you're currently using our app, if you're using it on a browser version of a mobile device, maybe a combination of both, or if you just don't use it at all. We'd just love to hear and see kind of some of the feedback there.
Let's see it. Nice.
Cool. Good combination. Good numbers there. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's just very helpful. As far as the overview or things to kind of expect today, we're going to share, as probably a lot of you saw, our new AppDash rollout, or the kind of the beta version of that. I'm going to walk through some updates there. Also share some prompter updates. That's been out for a little while now. You might have been on previous webinar where we shared a lot on that, taking a lot of feedback, made some updates there, excited to show you those. Also an all new import, CSV import. So that's a great one. All caps, pretty self-explanatory. I've gotten a lot of feedback on those, so excited to share a little bit on that. Quick jump to title rows. Won't dive in too much. I'll let Stevie take that. Yeah. That's also a really, really cool one. And then as well as floating elements, which is pretty exciting too. So that's just kind of a quick agenda. And then there's some Q&A sections throughout that as well. So let's keep the ball rolling. We're doing pretty good on time.
Yeah, we're doing
all
good.
right.
I'm gonna let you take this one.
Awesome. So let's just jump in. So as far as the new AppDash, as many of you probably saw when you logged in last week, you might have seen a little bit of a banner at the top here asking if you wanted to try it or not. A lot of you have been testing it out and using it, which is great. We really appreciate it. And then even a lot of you have been sharing good feedback. It's obviously in beta. We're still working through some of the feedback customers have had, as well as our own internal kind of testing and things like that. So we will continue releasing new updates and kind of fixes for some minor little things, and just kind of continuing that iteration approach. And then we'll eventually have a good release for everybody eventually. So if you are running into anything, definitely let us know. We want to address them. So we appreciate that. But as far as navigation, I won't spend a lot of time on this. Honestly, we touched on this a lot on a previous webinar, which you can, of course, go back and check out and watch. And we will be releasing a video overview of all of the new stuff in this when it is released for everybody. But obviously, just visually a little bit cleaner. We eliminated the left navigation, going in and out of events, creating shows. If you're a team admin on multiple teams, being able to quickly jump to multiple team accounts. And then probably the more significant update, adding team templates, so a team library, create rundown templates, schedule templates, things like that, to help the team, standardize the best practice approach as far as the way you're creating and sharing those things for the different events. So that's kind of what I'll touch, only stuff I'll kind of touch on today. We'll have more to kind of share, but again, continue to let us know feedback and things like that throughout it. I already kind of touched on kind of becoming a beta user. When that little banner, just click try, and that'll ask you if you do need to. Actually, it does remind me to show you how to opt out, which we have had some people who have maybe accidentally clicked it or want to revert back for any reason. If you did opt in, just hit your name in the top right, go to settings, and there's a toggle right here called early releases. This will allow you to opt in if maybe you dismissed it and want to check it out later, or maybe you opted in and want to opt out for a bit. You can toggle that on or off, and it's going to auto update. So that's kind of how you can navigate the that kind of beta aspect. Cool. I'm going to pass it over to Stevie to kind of talk you through some of the prompter updates.
Yeah. So prompter's fun. We've been kind of dialing that in, I would say, at varying speeds over the last 2 years or year and a half while we've been doing it. But last quarter we kind of just said, hey, let's go for it. Really kind of dial it in. And so, yeah, I think the two biggest things I'd just like to show on that is we've got some new shortcuts. I'll show it to you here in a second. We've got in the Learn article a nice kind of overview of the sort of the devices that we've kind of designed Prompter around, which is the Contour Shuttle. Contour Shuttle, if you're not familiar with it, is made by, I'm guessing, Contour. And so you can click this link. We've got links to kind of, if you want to literally go buy it. It's not too much. They've got a $60 or $50 cheaper version, I think, as well, too. We've got links in here that will get you over to their website where you can download their software, which essentially comes down to something like this, where you can really just kind of map keystrokes on your keyboard to different parts on the prompter shuttle itself, like the different buttons on there. And actually, if you're looking to sort of shortcut your way into that a little bit faster, we've got the show flow design presets for you already available right here from this article. And we kind of show you here in this article how you can import those settings into Contour Shuttle. That way you don't start from scratch. You kind of start with something sort of awesome. So what I'll do right now is actually just kind of demonstrate it for you. And I think the way I'll do that is actually switch to the wider shot as well too. So let's see if this works. Really up in our game here, guys. We've got 2 cameras this time. All right, so you can kind of see the screen, and then if you're looking at the wide camera here, we've got in our current setup the Contour Shuttle Pro V2, and that's got an outer ring and an inner ring. So if you need to be looking at the camera on the Zoom, click the camera. But anyway, so you'll see an inner ring right here, and then you're going to see an outer ring, and you can kind of see on my monitor if you're looking through the camera, we really use the outer ring as a way to move up and down in the script. And then we're using the inner ring as a way to control your scroll speed. So for example, if you were to literally just start scrolling, the inner ring is really how we're going to kind of speed up or slow down the prompter wheel on the inside. And again, that's the most thing I want to show you here from the outside is the outer ring and the inner ring. It's sort of the shuttle and then the jog. So if you switch back over, if you're on Zoom kind of clicking which one you want to look at, I would go ahead and right now click back to the screen share. And so you can kind of see here on the screen share, when we open up this panel on the right, we've got a couple of new things in there, one of which is the prompter width. So if you slide that towards the thinner or towards the wider, that's going to make your prompter width adjust. And of course, one of the things we've done is we've actually written keyboard shortcuts for each one of these handles. And that's specifically so you can map them via the Contour Shuttle or any other kind of system that you might use, third party, to specific buttons on your deal. So you could be using a Stream Deck, you could be using X keys or cross keys, or you could be using something like the contour shuttle. So you can kind of see if I'm using my inner jog on my contour shuttle, I'm actually moving the speed direction slider on my prompter there in the middle. And that's again because this is the up and down key. And I've mapped to the inner jog shuttle here. Left goes up key and right goes down key. So kind of fun, but just a really good example of it. You can also see that you can adjust various different things. I've got mapped on my hotkeys here, the ability to go up or down.
Full screen on this, maybe.
Sure
For
can.
that mode.
Oh, for the full screen mode here? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but anyway, so I've got up here in my first two keys, the first one actually goes up and just moves me up and down the script by presenters. And then we've got another short key that you can actually jump to the next available script with content in it. And so it'll skip over rows or items that don't have any content in it. And so you'll see us down here. So go to next row, left and right arrow, and go to plus the shift key is go to next row with content. So again, some just kind of nice as we're really kind of trying to refine this. Obviously, a lot of other big improvements we did to the prompter was trying to really reduce the amount of times that it might move around on you. Again, because it's a collaborative real-time prompter. If you make an edit up in the script somewhere, you know, you might have experienced in older versions of our prompter last year, it kind of pushed your script down a little bit. So we made continued efforts to reduce that. It's you know, it's a pretty complicated thing, but that in general, next time you go check that out, I'd encourage you to look to that as well too. Cool. Well, that's just a handful of them, but I wanted to mention those on the prompter side of things. I will now swing back out and we'll jump on to the next thing. So if you have any questions or if you've actually used prompter at all, to be honest, we would love to get on a call with you and learn more about how it's gone. So either message JP or info@ShowFlow or come on in the blue chat, but we absolutely want to be talking with you if you're someone who's actually using prompter on the regs or even have demoed it yourself. Cool, 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 cool. Johnny A, CSV.
Awesome. So yeah, this will be a pretty quick one, but CSV Import, it's been in the software for a while. It actually kind of goes a little bit under the radar. Some people don't even realize you can actually import a CSV. We actually did an entire kind of rewrite of this to make that process even easier. Got some great feedback from people who've been using it over the years. And you know, we had some hard requirements on durations and format that kind of would trip people up a little bit. Because as you know, there's a million ways you can format an Excel file, especially timing and durations and things like that. And you never know what the client's going to send over. So this is just kind of a new update to it, and hopefully really streamlines and makes it even easier for you to just take a show, either one, maybe you're a potential new customer and you've got one ready for a show coming up, allowing you to just quickly import and get started. Or maybe you're the type of production company that gets a last second, you know, run a show from a client and you need to quickly import it. Hopefully this can kind of help. So this is kind of a quick look at it. I'm going to actually demo it here in a second, but you'll notice we've streamlined a few things and made it, simplified it. We had a lot of different columns and selections and things like that, which would kind of trip people up. So now we've really streamlined it just to the two most important columns, which is you're identifying your item column and then you're identifying your duration. And then we also now are no longer hard requiring like the, 6-digit timing format. Essentially, we just need three digits, as you can kind of see right there. So definitely accommodates a lot more. And I'll just quickly kind of show you what that looks like. Let me find a show. You think this one?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So the easiest way to do it is when you're in an event in an event and you need to do the import, you just go to the create new, which is also, this is all a new AppDash. The CSV import is included in the new AppDash. It is not in the older version. So that's just something to make note. And you'll just note at the very bottom, CSV import. Just click CSV import. We're going to ask you to drag and drop the CSV file, or you can kind of just click on this and it'll allow you to just select it from your device. I've got one right here. Just click open. And then from here, just simply click upload. And then as I kind of mentioned, click the item column, which this is sorting by all of your column headers. So I just simply click item. And then from there, just hit find the duration column, whatever that's, and this can be titled whatever it is in your Excel file. Just select the duration column. And then from there, we also allow you to now name the show, which is, I think, great, just being able to come in here, rename it, and then also giving it a start time. So because we're asking you your start time on the front end and you have your durations, we'll actually, as part of the import, it's going to auto-calculate all your projected start times. So even if maybe your math wasn't working in Excel, we'll do that for you right in from here. And then just click import, and it's as easy as that. And we have the file in there. So yeah, if you're on the new AppDash, test it out. Let us know any other ways we can, any other things maybe that come up that we could help attribute more value to that feature. Send it over. And I'm going to pass it back over to Stevie for some of the date localization, which is also sweet.
Yeah, so we got a lot of international customers, which is awesome. We love y'all, and we're going to try and come out there, maybe see you guys this year if we can, some of the trade shows out there. But anywho, you want the date format and presentation of the events to actually, of the dates to actually match what, you're used to reading all the time. Not everyone reads like us over in the US, and we get it. And so anyways, we've done work on that. It's basically on your team settings. There's a thing that lets you choose between year, month, date, month, year, day, year. And that would decorate your, sort of event dates on your event dash and other places. That one's pretty light. Just a quick note, if everyone's rushing to go, all of our international customers, that is available. It's in production, but for beta testers. And so you need to be one of those, or you need to request this. It'll be out in a week or so. So don't get too worried. But if you're running to look at it right now, make sure, if you want to, that's fine. Just ping JP in the chat, and we'll make this thing available for you as a user. So cool. So that one's pretty easy. Then the next one is all caps. Johnny, come back in, dude. We're cranking through this. Cranking through it.
Cool. So all caps. This is, we get a lot of requests for features. This one makes a ton of sense. We all kind of came together and definitely agreed. The easiest way to kind of show this is just through kind of an image. It's pretty simple, straightforward. In the cell editing menu, you'll be able to just go right into the edit, and right here you'll have an icon to make it uppercase or make it lowercase. So it's that easy. Not a whole lot to add to that. It's definitely a lot for anybody who's using it for scripts, from sports teams. I know you guys have been definitely wanting this for a while, so really excited to be bringing this here shortly. And yeah, just being able to quickly edit into the cell, hit the button, uppercase, or hit it again to lowercase. So not a ton to share there, but definitely worth a high five to everyone who's just been continuing to talk about that and request it. So.
Yeah. The just a note on that one too. We're teasing them out today. They'll be coming out over the next several weeks. But all caps. That was more of like we had that conversation last fall in the last quarter update, quarterly webinar. We got good different votes, and that one voted up, and so we decided to go for it. And so that's kind of where we're at in it in terms of the development and the design, and it will let you know when we actually get to it. This one's fun, and this one will be available a lot faster. Title row jump. I'm actually a pro. If you're a pro user in ShowFlow, which if you're on this webinar, you likely are. This one's helpful. So enjoy. Ready? So this one's all about being able to quickly navigate up and down inside of the rundown. And so what I'm going to do is basically just use the Alt key and then the down arrow. And you can see right now, I'm just bouncing from title row to title row. So it's Alt key and up arrow or down arrow, and I'm just going to bump up and down to whatever the next title row might be. I use my return to tracking to figure out where I am right now. There I am. So another fun trick about that we also have with this one is Alt and then Shift and up key will take you to the first row, and Alt, Shift, and down key will take you to the last row. So I think I might have a little bit of a better demonstration of this somewhere. Let me see if I can get that right. Yeah, right here. So here we are again, title rows. I'm just hitting Alt or Option, whatever, float your boat, to get up and down from title row to title row. And then Shift Option will take you to the bottom. So use cases are going to be, obviously, if I was on a call with an esports customer the other day, like 300 rows. And I'm like, holy cow, that's a giant script. So just being able to hit Shift Command up arrow and take yourself to the top or the bottom, or just Alt up and down arrow and just pop around from like match to match in an esports broadcast. Or certainly if you were to, this is a great invitation for customers to maybe rethink how you're using title rows in show flow. For example, if you're corporate, you might say it as simple as, you know, this is the Bill Gates keynote, and then there's 6 or 7 cues inside of his keynote, and then this is the, you know, Steve Jobs keynote, and then this is the whatever. And you could have those 6 or 7 different cues in it, and then you're able to quickly, you know, Alt pop up and down. Sports, it's a no-brainer, specifically if you're threading your entire game script with pregame, in-game, first, second, third timeout, halftime, all that jazz. So the shift, the Alt up and down arrow is the key. So that one we'll release probably later this day. So again, if you're, you know, but that will be in production and available for all users here later today, probably right at the end of this webinar. So that was kind of fun. And you'll find it here as well too. If you need help, you can just search for row. Yeah, where is it? Probably it's jump. Oh no, I think I haven't gotten that in yet. So we'll get that in there, I promise. It'll be in the shortcuts menu as well too. All right, cool. That one's a fun one. I'm excited for that one to get used. That's a first iteration pass at what I really want to do long term, which is potentially try to open up like a left pane here that kind of has like a book outline of all of your items and your rows, and you can kind of quickly navigate around and stuff from there. So that's pretty fun. All right, let's jump back to floating elements. This is going to stick with me. So floating elements is a really cool concept we've been working with a couple of customers on in terms of like how to really use show flow in a little bit more of like a live broadcast environment, or potentially with sports as well too. I think it actually applies to all. That's why I get excited about some of these features is when they really work for all industries. But let me demonstrate what that is. So this is not going to be available today, but we are in progress on this. So I'm going to go to like a prototype we've got here that our lovely Ryan Carter came up with, our UX UI designer. So cool. In this scenario, maybe let's just say that this keynote right here, item 106, which I don't know why Elon Musk is doing a keynote in the middle of a game script apparently, but it's happening. So let's just say that for that element, we are running out of time, or you know, we just don't want to run it anymore. So the idea of floating an element is essentially to take it out of the run order of the show in terms of its impact on time and its impact on scripts and prompters and things like that. And so pretty self-explanatory, but if you were to hover over and click float a row, which apparently I meant to say the video, get ready here, you can see that that actually kind of collapses down the row. So if there was content in it, it actually shrinks it way down. It'll give it a strike through. And this kind of little indicator that whatever, you know, it's floated. We shouldn't expect to see it. And so now you can see the times are skipping essentially over it. So 7:15:30 plus 30 is driving 7:45:30 on the next row. So even though it's present, you can see it, it's actually out of the overall run of show in terms of time. And then the same would apply to the prompter. If you were to go over to the prompter and be scrolling up and down from 105 to 106, you would be skipping right to 108, and 107 would not be present in there. And then the best thing about it too, if you're approaching it maybe a different way, there's kind of 2 ways to approach floating elements. One might be, I have it in there, I ran out of time, I need to float it. Maybe move it around, down lower, and unfloat it. The other one can be, I want to pad a particular segment or block of time. Maybe if it's in sports or esports or something like that, you might know you have 2 or 3 minutes of filler potentially if the ref gets called in or something like that. So you could actually preload a couple of elements, maybe even from Jim, and have them already floated, and then based on what happens in that particular element, you just literally are hovering over and then unclicking that and it'll bring it into play. So just another way into the same thing, which is kind of cool. So we're excited about that. If you have a particular interest in that piece of functionality and that feature and ideas for it or input on it, or just a straight up desire to be subscribing to all of the updates as we dial in what that piece of functionality will be, please reach out to support@showflow.tv or JP on the QA right now, or just come in over the blue intercom. We're looking for people who want to participate in helping us build that feature out and understand. That way, when we launch it, it's actually something everybody actually wants. So that is floating elements. We're excited about that. You should anticipate that certainly over the first part of this year. But that's what's up there. Cool, 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 cool. I think, Mr. Johnny Ace, we're done, man. JP, is there any queued up Q&A really that we've got? You've been kind of slamming it along the way, huh? Just answering questions?
Yeah, none of them were really specific.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a couple final things. As you guys know, just some links for you guys. I know we've talked about it on a couple other webinars. We've got some great resource, this show flow updates, if you want to keep pulse on kind of what we're working on, or not what we're working on, but what's released. That's a great site for that. As always, the learn.showflow.tv. This is continuing to get added new articles to it. As we release new things, this is also where you can go back, check out any of our old webinars and watch them, as well as some of our spotlight webinars, which are an awesome way to kind of get a pulse on maybe a similar industry, on how they're doing things. This one that we did with MIG was
Awesome.
really awesome. Anybody in corporate, maybe broadcast space, or even sports might find really interesting use cases there. And then also those sports teams, we've got some great ones for baseball, football, and we'll also continue to be adding to these as well.
Yep.
And yeah, and then I guess the last is just Canny. I know we've talked about this before, but if you ever do have feedback, thoughts, things like that of use cases, or you just want to kind of engage in the conversation, this is just a collection of ideas from our own internal team, as well as you guys, customers and users, to just share your thoughts and then jump in on the combos, get updated when things get under review, or also get updated when things are released that you might have requested as well. So definitely take a look at those and jump in if you feel comfortable.
Nice. It does look like there was one question real quick.
We got a few last minute ones.
Debbie, no, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Cool.
Yeah, well, let me hit the one up at the top. Actually, I like that one. So there was a question from Greg about tracking and bumping people around to the top of the row. That was a bug, and we fixed it. And if you're experiencing that still, I want to know about it for sure. But there was a bug that was floating out there for a while. I'm not sure exactly how long, and we worked with a couple of customers in helping us identify it. And that should be at least the version of the bug that we identified then is fixed. So I apologize for that, but it's sort of a part of software. The last one was Ken Burke to all panelists. Maybe not knowing how, but is the text size still a default, or can I set it as a size and it stays at that size as I edit? So I think what you're asking there is that specific to Prompter? That would be my question. In general, though, with Prompter, that's something that you're adjusting every single time you enter in and out of Prompter. So if that's your question there, that's something you kind of make adjustments there. Otherwise, if it's a text you're talking about inside of a cell, that's
and that's worth noting. Like if you edit the content in the cell of a script, like in this view, and you adjust the font, that is increasing the font for anybody that's viewing, another run of show in this kind of grid view.
Yeah.
If you're adjusting the font size in the teleprompter view with the draggable thing, that's only impacting the teleprompter view. That's not impacting the script size to somebody viewing it from the grid view, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Just want to diversify that kind of two differences there.
Totally. Ken, hit us up, man. We want to help you out, whatever that is, if we didn't get that right. So from Matt, will it be possible to add floating elements straight from global items? As in, can we predefine an item as a floating and import it? I think so. I wouldn't say why not. I'm sort of anticipating that floating elements is just an element. As of today, floating elements is just a standard element with just an attribute to it of is or is not floating. And so therefore you could build one in Gem and it would be available for insert as well too. Don't see why not. Cool. Larry David, I love that name. If we get stuck getting up and running a show, who do we call for immediate response during a show? That's a great question. I mean, honestly, we've always wanted to be a team that's ready and available for you guys and understand the nuances of live production. So the Blue Chat is the place to go. And we have not only about 2 to 3 people who are constantly looking at that, but then it's got a greater ring of basically almost all of the show flow team that's always considering and monitoring that. There is a phone number as well, 866-774-0026 to make a call if you need to as well.
It's on our website.
So,
but yeah, I mean, if it's a urgent thing,
Yeah.
I would suggest coming in on the blue chat bubble,
Yeah.
marking it urgent, and we've got people here to kind of help with that.
yeah, cool. Somebody else, Johnny was asking about floating elements in a potential filter spot. If there's
Filler.
a if there's a delay in the entertainer coming out and we have to fill, for example. Yeah, it's a great example. You're almost like this is need to stretch a particular segment for whatever reason. That's a great use case. We got someone, TJ, coming in asking, does the teleprompter scroll state sync with everyone viewing it? Does it sync with everyone viewing it? I mean, the teleprompter is, what's up, TJ? The teleprompter absolutely it's real time for everybody. So if you were like looking at it here in the table form and then somebody else had it up in the prompter, if you made an edit on the table form, it's going to pass through to the prompter. And literally as you're scrolling. So that's one of the benefits of it, that it's getting those feeds and you can kind of say toss the video in a script while you're actually scrolling from it. Yes, that would be it. And now if you had two different people in full screen teleprompter mode, and are those two prompters in sync? No. So if that's also what you're asking, no. And if you weren't asking that, now you know more. That's how it works.
John Depp actually clarified this. I think the question is if you scroll on one screen, if the other screen will match yours.
Interesting. It's not that so it does follow through true with tracking. So if you had prompter open in one screen and did turn tracking on, it will advance to the next script automatically. Like it'll just follow the show caller as they advance from one to the other. So you can actually come down here and select who you want in the tracking. I would say you would only want to use that in more of an environment where it's like presenter notes,
Yeah.
and we have had people use it that way. But if it's a full-on script, it's really unlikely that you'd want to be forced out of that from one to another. Yeah. John Depp has been using it a lot, going to town on it. He's an esports customer. And so we're really learning a lot from his use case for it, which is why we really want to invite more and more people in from the prompter side. But yeah, no, in general, the prompter though, if I was to be scrolling right here and somebody actually came in and made an edit from the regular table view, like compact view, and changed that from Rob to Jeff, we would see that live in real time right there. As you're scrolling. Which is one of the bigger benefit ads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, Jamie. When do you anticipate the script duration to be updated? Example, typing a script and knowing exactly how long it should take for that to read. Oh yeah, like a read estimate. Yeah, we liked that. I think it's a no-brainer. It's always hard to kind of like give you a date. I think that thing's a natural evolution of the roadmap of prompter, which is to, if you put in the script and you double the text, the amount of script content or words in the script, that if you were saying that was 3 minutes before, maybe it should be 6 minutes now, things of that nature.
Yep.
So I love it in general. And I think that if you haven't already gone to Canny and put that in over there, we really look to that platform community to kind of help us understand the sense of urgency around feature development like that. So that would be my probably suggestion, is to go to Canny.
Makes sense though. But even on the script building
sense.
side, building out for sports, like building a PA, knowing what the estimated time of that makes perfect sense.
Totally. Alrighty, Roto-Rooter, I think we're there. So I love this. We're talking about actually trying to do another webinar or session like this where it's just wide open QA, ask me anything kind of thing. So, that maybe we could, if we end up setting that up, we'll send an email out for everybody.
Kind of like we did last webinar.
Yeah,
which is a lot more kind of two-way conversation, feedback, sharing. Some stuff.
Good news is, guys, this is a great year. We're going to be investing a lot into the product, hiring a lot more engineers, and building a lot of really great things. So be on the lookout and be noisy in Canny, be noisy in Intercom. Let us know what you think you need. We want to build products and features that you guys actually need in the real world. So let us know, and we'll jump on it with you. Other than that, thanks, Johnny.
Yeah.
Thanks, JP. Thanks, everybody, and we'll catch you on the flip.